All right, 7-3, we're doing fractional exponents, and it's just what it says. We're going to have exponents that contain fractions. So we are learning to solve x to the a over b, and again, b cannot be equal to 0, because if you had a b as 0, you would have an undefined fraction, which is a no-no. All right, so this is what I'm trying to teach you today. Fractional exponent means power over root. So looking at this first example right here, I have 64 raised to the 2/3 power. That means the 2 is the power, and the 3 is the root. So 64, we want to raise 64 to the second power and then take the cube root of that answer. Or we can look at it as take the cube root of 64 and then raise that to the second power. It doesn't matter whether you do the power first or the root first, just as long as you do both of them. For this one, it asks me to do 64 squared first. It's way too big. I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to look at it this way. I'm going to do the root first. The cube root of 64. Now that's pretty easy. That's 4. I still have the squared. 4 squared is 16. So you can see now that if you've ever seen me do a shortcut, for example, if you asked me to take the square root of 49, well, we all know the answer is 7. But on my calculator, I often type 49 raised to the 0.5 power. Well, 0.5 is really 1/2. And now you can see while you raise something to the 1/2 power, it really means square root, because the power is 1 and the root is 2. So the square root of 49, and then I raise that to the first power, and raising anything to the first power doesn't change it. So let's just do some practice problems. Okay, number 2. We want to simplify this. What's behind door number 2? 16 to the negative half. Well, I'm going to do a little thinking here. 1/2 power really means square root. That's the first thing I want to realize. Well, there's my negative, and if we remember from yesterday, I want to handle my negative first. So I'm going to take 16, and I'm going to flip 16 to 1 over 16. But that still has to get raised to the 1/2 power. And 1/2 power is square root fancy. So the 1 has to get square rooted, and the 16 has to get square rooted. So the answer is 1/4. 16 to the negative half is 1/4. Now you can look at this a lot of different ways. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it, 16 to the negative 1/2. Well, I can do 16 to the 1/2 power, which is 4, and then raise that to the negative 1, which is 1/4. So it doesn't matter. Here, I did the negative first, and then took the square root. Here, I did the square root first, and then I took the negative. Door 3. Ooh, 3/4. All right, so this one is saying take 81 and power over root. So the power is 3 and the root is 4. So that says I can either take 81 and raise it to the third power and then take the fourth root, or I can take the fourth root of 81 and then raise that answer to the third power. I can do it in either order. Well, 81 to the third power, that's just too big to do in my head. Hurts my tiny little head. This one says take the fourth root of 81. And remember, I told you a quick way to do the fourth root. The fourth root is do a square root twice. So the square root of 81 is 9. The square root of 9 is 3. And then that still has to get raised to the third power, which gets me 27 as an answer. Now, what's this thing saying? Once again, I'm going to drill this into your head. Half power means square root. All right, so they want me to take the square root of this answer. All right, so anything raised to the 0 power is 1. Nothing's going on with 8 here. So that's 9. 1/2 power means square root. Square root of 9 is 3. It's kind of easy. It's behind door 5. Well, I got another square root. But I've also got a negative. So let's handle the negative first. The negative will tell me to flip my base. So that means the 36 goes to the numerator and the 25 goes to the denominator. Now all that still has to get raised to the 1/2 power, and let's all say it together. Half power means square root. So the square root of the numerator, and then I have to take the square root of the denominator. Oh, there's my dog wanting to go out. Square root of 36 is 6. Square root of 25 is 5. Let's see. Here's number 6. Oh, this is getting to be easy now. Ooh, tricky, tricky. Who? Oh, Fenway agrees. Who is getting raised to the 5/2 power here? Just the 4. So 4 raised to the 5/2 power. By now I think you realize that it's easier to do the root first. So I'm going to take the square root of 4, because I'm taking the second root, and then I'm raising that to the 5th power. Square root of 4 is 2. That gets raised to the 5th power. I get 32. Done, done, up. And then I just bring my negative down. So it's negative 32. Wow. It's the first one that's got a variable in it. That deserves a different color. So if I look at this, this is asking me to take the square root of 49 and the square root of x to the 5th. Well, the square root of 49 is 7. Oh, does this bring back painful memories from chapter 1? How do I take the square root of x to the 5th? Well, x to the 4th times x. I pull out a perfect square. The square root of x to the 4th is x squared. And then this poor little x has got nobody to hang around with.